affect labeling or naming our feelings can be such a useful tool for moving through hard things. So, I wanted to talk about three ways that this affect labeling might be useful to you. And the first is the way that affect labeling or specifically naming our feelings really does put some definition around the difficult things that we may be going through. It puts some structure around it such that we're not feeling some nebulous cloud of just feeling bad, but by putting specific words to how we're feeling, it really does make things more concrete. And again, it puts kind of some walls and boundaries around that. So we're not feeling all of the things. We are feeling this thing specifically. And sometimes when we have more clarity, more definition around what it exactly is that we're going through, what it is that we're dealing with, that is then it allows us to better move through it. So by giving our feelings the words, the specific words that describes the feeling more clearly, it does give us something almost more tangible to work with. And this is more helpful the more specific we can be. So again, rather than, we're feeling sad or we're feeling mad, maybe the feeling is we're feeling betrayed or we're feeling empty or or we're feeling disillusioned or maybe fearful. So somehow, whatever the specific feeling is, the more specificity we can put to it, the better we're able to grapple with it, the more clear definition we now have, so we're better able to grapple with this, the thing that has some boundaries around it. And this can often be helpful by using a feelings wheel. So this is, you can find them anywhere online. It's a feelings chart or a feelings wheel that allows us to take things, if we're having a hard time coming up with a specific word that describes the feeling, it can help us take the word from, sad to empty or lonely. It is a kind of a chart that does help us find more specific feelings words if we're having a hard time coming up with words that more clearly describe what we're going through. And a second way that affect labeling or naming our feelings can be so helpful is that it really does help us have a sense of we're not alone in feeling these things. So we're not the only person in the history of the world who, has ever felt resentful or felt, lost or overwhelmed. And so by having a clear name and a definition to what we're going through, it does help us feel like, this is just part of being human. And this feeling is so common. It's got a word to it. It's in the dictionary. It is a common human occurrence to feel this thing. And that can be actually so helpful in helping us feel like, okay, I'm not the only person who's ever had to navigate this feeling or this experience of being human. It's such a common thing. Here's the word for it. And a third way that affect labeling can be so helpful is that it really does help us now move through the feeling by having a name and a definition for what it is we are going through. We can now navigate it more easily because it's not this nebulous cloud of yuck. We've got a specific thing that we can now navigate and move through. Feelings don't stay, they do come and they go. And by being able to have a clear understanding of what it is that we are going through, it does help the process of now moving through that emotion to get to a place that feels better or that feels relief. It helps us move through something when we are clear about what it is that we have to move through. So this clarity does allow us a little bit easier time of navigating the situation, the experience that we are navigating. So one of the ways we secular chaplains make use of this affect labeling tool is by asking those that we're caring for questions like, do I understand it that you are feeling dismayed? Or, am I hearing it correctly that you are feeling lonely? So we ask questions with specific feelings words. And we ask those that we're caring for questions because it is often hard ourselves to come up with a specific name of what we're feeling. So by reflecting back to them, to those that we're caring for, it gives the person the chance to say, oh, yes, that is it. That is what I'm feeling. And it's a little bit of a relief. Now they do have the name for it. Or it can help the person by saying, oh, no, that's not actually how I'm feeling, but I'm feeling this. So even if we're not getting it quite correct, the word that we've offered the person doesn't exactly describe what they're feeling, it can at least help the person start, maybe coming up with some other words that do more clearly represent what they're feeling. So it really is helpful to kind of ask a person, do I hear you saying that you're feeling betrayed or whatever. It is helpful to give the person some words to work with, and then they can help use those words to help clarify for themselves. Okay, it's not that, but the feeling is this. And it does help that person move into some specificity and some clarity about the feeling. And then, as secular chaplains, it's so often helpful when we follow up with, oh, it makes sense that you're feeling that way. It makes sense that you're feeling, fearful, or it makes sense that you're feeling hurt. Um, it's helpful for the person who is going through the feeling. It's helpful to help them feel validated and understood. And maybe you don't have that exact feeling yourself, or maybe you would not have that exact feeling in that situation yourself. But to relay to the person you're caring for, oh gosh, it makes sense that this is what you're feeling. It really does help the person being cared for feel like, okay, again, this is just part of being human. This is not some, thing out of left field. It's some nebulous thing. This is the feeling. It makes sense that I'm feeling this way. That can be such a helpful place and make a person feel safe and cared for when they are going through a difficult thing. And I want to say here too, this affect labeling or naming our feelings is especially important for those who have left religious systems. This can feel quite difficult for those of us who've left faith systems, uh, but it can be especially healing because so often the faith systems we've left have been organizations that have tried to suppress real feelings and real emotions. Maybe we felt like we weren't allowed to have certain feelings, when we were part of that religious system, or maybe this was not a safe space to you know say how we were really feeling inside. And so for those of us who have left religious systems, this naming of our real feelings can be a special gift. It can maybe feel a little hard at first, but again, having a safe space and a safe person to talk about these real feelings with can be especially healing when we're coming from faith systems who have maybe tried to suppress this feeling, these emotions that we are experiencing. So I hope this has been helpful, and maybe this gift of affect labeling is something we can offer each other, and a gift we can give ourselves the next time we're experiencing difficult feelings, that this might be a helpful tool that helps us navigate the difficult time a little easier. My name is Ashley. I'm a secular chaplain, and please let me know in the comments how you are doing these days, how you are feeling, and if there are ways that I can be helpful. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.